sit cross-legged on the hardwood floor, surrounded by stacks of glossy photographs. The Vermont wedding I shot last weekend turned out better than I had hoped. The bride's cream-colored gown set against the autumn leaves gave me exactly the contrast I envisioned. My favorite photo shows the couple beneath a canopy of maple trees, their fingers barely touching as the fallen leaves swirl around them. The phone rings. My mother's name flashes on the screen. I pause, my finger hovering over the accept button before answering. Hi. Mom. I cradle the phone between my shoulder and ear while sorting photos into potential album layouts. Courtney. Her voice has that familiar, sharp edge. I need to talk to you about Lily's wedding. I smile, thinking of my sister's upcoming ceremony in Miami. I was actually planning to call her this week. I have some photography ideas that would be perfect for, "You'll ruin your sister's wedding. Don't come." My coffee cup slips from my hand, shattering against the floor. Hot liquid spreads across the photos, hours of work destroyed. What? My voice sounds far away, like it belongs to someone else. Lily needs all the attention, my mother continues, her tone firm. Your success would overshadow her day. I grip the edge of my desk to steady myself. Mom, that doesn't make any sense. I'm her only sister. All the guests have received their invitations, she says evenly. Everyone except you. My stomach twists. Memories flood back, being left out of family photos. My artwork taken off the fridge to make space for Lily's drawings. Sitting at the kids' table during Thanksgiving while Lily sat on Dad's lap at the adults' table. Mom. I've photographed 180 weddings, I say, my voice trembling despite myself. I could help. This doesn't make sense. Think of it as your gift to Lily, she replies, her tone softening into something worse than anger. Pity. You've always needed to be the center of attention. For once, let your sister have her moment. My throat tightens. Let me talk to Lily. This can't be what she wants. She agrees completely. This was partly her idea. The words hang between us. I can't tell if it's a lie or the truth, which might hurt even more. I hang up without a goodbye and immediately call my father. He answers on the second ring. Court? Everything okay? Dad, Mom just told me I'm not invited to Lily's wedding. That can't be right, I say. But the pause on the line tells me everything before he even speaks. It's for the best. Court. His voice carries the same defeated tone he used when telling me I couldn't display my photography trophy at age 12 because Lily might feel bad. You don't mean that. I press my palm to my forehead. Fighting the spinning room. Your absence is a gift to your sister, he says. Be selfless for once. The words cut through years of pretending this dynamic didn't exist. My mind flashes to Ethan framing my first magazine cover, opening champagne at midnight to celebrate. His genuine pride so different from my parents' silence when I sent them a copy. I look down at the ruined photos on the floor, images of strangers looking at each other with more love than my family has ever shown me. I won't beg for an invitation to my own sister's wedding. The words come out steadier than I expected. Don't be dramatic. My mother's voice cuts in. They must be on speakerphone. Think about someone besides yourself. I've spent my entire life thinking about everyone else, I say, my voice calm despite the turmoil inside. Hiding my accomplishments, making myself smaller. All your cousins will be there, my father adds. Everyone's looking forward to celebrating with Lily. Don't make this difficult. The unspoken message is clear. The family has already shaped the narrative about me, the selfish, attention-seeking older sister. They control how the extended family sees me. I understand. I say finally, though it's not true. What I really understand is that this pattern won't stop unless I make it stop. My career and peace of mind can't endure if I keep allowing this behavior. I end the call just as the front door opens. Ethan steps in, his camera bag over one shoulder, freezing when he sees the shattered ceramics and coffee-stained wedding photos around me. Courtney, what happened? His concern is a sharp contrast to the cold detachment I just heard from my parents. Between tears, the story spills out, the uninvitation, the excuses, the lifelong pattern of being dimmed so my sister could shine brighter. Ethan kneels beside me. Careful to avoid the fragments. They've done this all your life. It's not right. He helps me rescue the undamaged photos, gently dabbing away coffee stains. We work quietly for a few minutes before he speaks again. Your sister's wedding is about her, he says softly. But your life is about you. I look at him, and suddenly the truth is clear. My choice isn't between going to my sister's wedding or staying home. It's between staying small or finally standing tall. I've spent my whole life shrinking, I whisper, feeling new resolve form. Maybe it's time to stop. 3 slow weeks pass. I bury myself in editing wedding albums until my eyes ache. But my phone stays silent. No calls from Mom. No texts from Lily. The pain of being uninvited lingers beneath a surface of forced normalcy, until Amanda calls. Court, you won't believe what Lily just posted, she says. Amanda's voice crackles through the speaker as I scroll through emails, coffee in hand. She's known both of us since high school and still tries to stay neutral. I'm not sure I want to know, I reply, though curiosity stirs. Miami Beach. $800,000 budget. White tulips flown in from Holland. 8-course dinner by a celebrity chef. My stomach twists. $800,000? That's almost double their original budget. Bradley's parents are covering most of it, Amanda says quietly. But there's something else. I had lunch with Jenny. She's in the wedding party. My grip tightens around the mug. And? Bradley told Lily he didn't want you there. Said you make everything about yourself. The coffee burns my throat as I swallow too fast. He's never even met me. Jenny overheard Lily telling him stories, Amanda continues. That you stole attention at her Sweet 16. That your scholarship ceremony overshadowed her debate win. None of that's true, I say, stunned. My ceremony lasted 10 minutes before my parents rushed me to Lily's competition. We didn't even stop for ice cream. After hanging up, I open Instagram. My mother's latest post fills the screen. Lily and Bradley surrounded by white roses, champagne glasses raised. The caption reads, "Sometimes the kindest thing is to step back and let others shine." The message couldn't be more directed at me if she'd tagged my name. That afternoon, I dig through old family albums from the closet. Patterns emerge I somehow missed all these years. In every family photo, I stand slightly behind Lily. When my grandparents congratulated me on my first photo exhibit, their smiles dimmed after my mother whispered in their ears. The time my father told me to tone down my excitement after winning a state award, because Lily was having a rough week, it wasn't random. It was a pattern. Ethan finds me surrounded by photos when he gets home. Without a word, he sits beside me, picking up a beach photo where my smile looks forced. Look at this, he says, opening his laptop. He pulls up a folder titled Courtney Client Reviews. He reads aloud. Courtney Palmer didn't just photograph our horror wedding. She captured the exact moment I knew I'd spend my life with this person. She has a gift for seeing people as they really are. Every time we open our album, we relive the day through Courtney's eyes. She made it magical. One after another, dozens of testimonials. Praise for my eye, my empathy, my authenticity. Everything my family never saw. These people see you, Ethan says quietly. Your family doesn't. I stare at an old photo of 16-year-old me clutching my first DSLR, careful not to smile too brightly because Lily had gotten a B in math. I used to think if I achieved enough, they'd finally be proud. But that was never the deal, was it? The deal was that I'd stay small so Lily could feel special. So that's their story, Ethan says. Not yours. Past midnight, my phone buzzes. Lily's name flashes. I consider ignoring it, but answer anyway. Hey, she says, slightly slurred. Are you awake? I am now. I'm at Hannah's bachelorette. Everyone's asleep but me. I miss you, Court. The familiar ache returns. Then why am I not invited? She sighs. Mom's afraid you'll charm everyone. You always do. Bradley's parents have important connections. The wedding has to be perfect. And I'd ruin it just by being there? You don't understand, she murmurs. Sometimes it's hard being the favorite. The pressure is a lot. I almost laugh. You're worried about expectations? I've spent my entire life trying not to outshine you. That's not true. It is, and you know it. Silence stretches before she mutters, I should go, and hangs up. I sit motionless until Ethan finds me an hour later. Worry in his eyes? What if we got away for the weekend? He suggests softly. Clear your head. The next evening, we meet our photographer friends, Sophia and Michael, for dinner. I haven't mentioned the wedding, but they already know. Your family can't see your light, Sophia says firmly, because they're the ones dimming it. This isn't about winning or losing, Michael adds. It's about reclaiming your story. How? I ask. By living well, Sophia smiles. By creating something beautiful. Their words echo as Ethan and I walk home under the cool Seattle night. The stars peek through the haze, distant but steady. They're right, I say at last. If I keep chasing their approval, I'll never stop shrinking. Ethan squeezes my hand. Then don't. I look up at the thin strip of sky between the buildings, feeling something shift, not just anger, but clarity. For 27 years, I've lived by their rules, waiting for permission to exist fully. I'm done shrinking, I say, the words sinking deep like truth. A week later, we're in a rented cabin near Lake Chelan. Ethan insisted on a weekend away after the last call with my parents. The distance feels like air after suffocation. Court, come look at this, Ethan calls from the deck. I join him, camera still in hand. On his laptop, an image of a stone villa perched above turquoise water glows. What am I looking at? Remember Giovanni? The Milan documentary director? I nod, recalling the kind old filmmaker who adored Ethan. He rents his family's villa for small weddings, Ethan explains. Clicking through photos of terraces draped in vines, overlooking the endless Amalfi Coast. It's stunning, I whisper, but my chest tightens. We've been together 4 years, yet never talked seriously about marriage. Not because we didn't want to, but because we've been postponing happiness to avoid their judgment, Ethan says gently. His words hit hard. I realize I've built my life around earning approval from people who will never give it. Ethan takes my hand. Look, September 15th is open. My mind instantly calculates light angles, the golden hour glow on the coast. That's perfect timing, I murmur. 1 month before Lily's wedding, he adds softly. I glance up. You think we should get married before my sister? I think we should get married when and where we want, he says simply. We could finally have the wedding that's ours. Not some production to impress your parents or compete with Lily. He's right. Even miles away. I've still been living by their expectations, waiting for a day that never comes. When they might finally see me, support me, and be proud. September 15th, I whisper, already picturing the scene. Soft evening light over old stone. The scent of jasmine carried by the sea breeze. Ethan waiting against a backdrop of endless blue. Is that a yes? His smile is cautious but full of hope. I laugh, surprised by the sound. Yes, let's do it. For the first time since that painful phone call, I feel something other than hurt. Something that almost feels like control. The next morning, clarity greets me like sunlight. I take my phone out to the deck, careful not to wake Ethan. Mom, Margaret, answers on the third ring. Courtney, is everything okay? Her voice is lined with concern, as if I only ever call with bad news, which, admittedly, has been true lately. Everything's fine, Mom. Better than fine, I say evenly. I wanted to tell you, Ethan and I are getting married. There's a pause. Then sharp disbelief. What? When did this happen? We've been together 4 years. It feels like the right time. I watch an osprey circle above the water. We found a beautiful spot in Amalfi. Just 25 guests. Small and intimate. You can't possibly plan a wedding while Lily is planning hers, she protests, that familiar edge in her tone. She's already overwhelmed. This will upset her terribly, once. Those words would have made me backtrack, apologize. Shrink, not today. I'm not asking for permission. Mom, I'm just sharing the news, I reply, steady and calm. Our ceremony won't interfere with Lily's plans. This is exactly what I mean. You always need attention. She snaps. First, you make a scene about not being invited to Lily's wedding, and now you're planning your own right before hers? I inhale deeply. This isn't about Lily. It's about the life Ethan and I are choosing. Richard? She calls out. Courtney is trying to upstage Lily's wedding. I close my eyes, expecting guilt to wash over me, but it doesn't. Instead, there's peace. I have to go, Mom. I just wanted you to hear it from me. Courtney. Goodbye. Mom. I end the call, on my terms. The osprey dives into the lake and rises with a fish in its talons. I sit in the morning sun, waiting for the regret to return. It doesn't. All I feel is lightness. Inside, Ethan's making coffee. How'd it go? Exactly as expected, I smile. She thinks I'm trying to steal Lily's spotlight. But I didn't apologize, didn't back down, didn't make myself small. He hands me a mug. Proud of you. My phone buzzes. Texts from Jasmine and Taylor. My photographer friends I messaged last night. They both want to shoot the ceremony. They said it's about time someone captured my moments instead of everyone else's. I tell Ethan, he grins. I email Giovanni, the villa owner. He's thrilled, says the light that week is magical. More messages pour in throughout the day. Former wedding clients offering vendor contacts, music suggestions, and heartfelt support. The wave of encouragement leaves me breathless. That afternoon, Ethan's laptop pings, an email from Giovanni. My villa has hosted many weddings, it reads, but rarely between true artists who understand how to capture beauty. The house awaits your vision. I study the attached photos, already imagining the angles, the light, the exact moment when everything will align perfectly. The setting sun casts a golden glow across the stone walls. For the first time, I understand why my clients get emotional when they see their photos. The feeling of having someone truly witness your love story and preserve it in its most genuine light. Should we invite them? I ask Ethan that evening as stars begin to scatter across the lake. My family? Should we risk the drama or focus on creating our day without their presence? He pulls me close. That's completely your decision. But think about it. What matters most in the moments you capture as a wedding photographer? Authenticity, I reply instantly. Then that's your answer, he says, pressing a kiss to my forehead. Do whatever feels authentic to you, I rest against him. Watching the constellations appear, suddenly, the question feels less significant than the realization itself. For the first time in my life, I'm making decisions without measuring them against my family's approval. If this small act of independence feels this freeing, what would complete freedom from their judgment feel like? I spread my portfolio across the living room floor, arranging wedding albums in a wide arc. It's been a week since we booked Giovanni's villa on the Amalfi Coast, and the initial excitement has settled into something steadier, a calm determination. What's all this? Ethan asks, carefully stepping between the albums. Research, I say, tapping the cover of a winter wedding I shot in Vermont. I've photographed 180 weddings, but I've never really studied what makes them meaningful. Our apartment now resembles a planning studio. The dining table holds timeline charts, the walls are covered in inspiration boards, and every surface is scattered with color-coded guest lists. My industry contacts, florists, caterers, designers, have all reached out since hearing our news. But every offer is filtered through a single question. Does this reflect who we truly are? Ethan sits cross-legged beside me, flipping through a Napa Valley wedding album. This doesn't seem like revenge anymore, he notes. It's not, I reply, studying a candid shot of a grandmother dancing with the flower girl. This is about creating something real. The thrill I felt telling my mother about our plans has faded. That fleeting victory wasn't enough. What matters now is building something. Honest, not reacting to being excluded. I grab my notebook, filled with notes on documenting our own ceremony. Since we both work behind the camera, I explain. I want to make sure our day is captured with care. I need to treat it like my most important assignment, analyzing every element objectively. In my professional shoots, I always search for genuine moments, a father's tears, intertwined hands, laughter during vows. Those brief, unguarded seconds reveal more truth than any posed photo. Now I'm applying that same perspective to our wedding. What if we treated this like a documentary? Ethan suggests, his filmmaker instincts surfacing. Let's tell our story, not theirs. I nod, already flipping through my portfolio for reference. Which moments really matter? I ask. When I review the thousands of weddings I've photographed, the same details always stand out. Not the luxury decor or designer dresses, but the raw emotion caught when couples forget the camera is there. We need Maria and Alex, I decide, naming the photographer friends whose work I deeply respect. They understand my vision, and they can capture it while we simply live it. Ethan makes a note. Giovanni emailed this morning, he adds. He mentioned local vendors and legal paperwork. The documents need to be filed 6 weeks before the ceremony. Got it. Here's your professionally rewritten version of the transcript. Following all your rules, less than 10% alteration, simplified language, same structure and length, no drama, clear and professional tone, and maintaining all key details. We spend the afternoon coordinating logistics, confirming Italian marriage requirements, and finalizing the short list of guests who've consistently supported us. Each decision feels like placing another stone in a foundation built not around my family's expectations but our own future. Late that evening, my phone rings. Amanda's name flashes on the screen. "Courtney," she says without greeting. Lily called me in tears. "She found out about your Italian wedding through Bradley's cousin. Apparently they saw it on Maria's Instagram." My stomach tightens. "And," Amanda continues, "your mom's calling everyone. She's saying you're doing this to ruin Lily's special time." I close my eyes, picturing the chain reaction. Relatives receiving perfectly worded messages casting me as the antagonist. "What did you tell her?" I ask. "I said I needed to talk to you first," Amanda replies gently. "Court, are you doing this to get back at them?" Her question lingers. A week ago, I might have said yes. But now, surrounded by our careful plans spread across the apartment, I know better. "We're building something genuine," I tell her. "This isn't about competition." After hanging up, I see Ethan standing in the doorway, concern clear on his face. "They're rallying the extended family," I say quietly. He steps closer, resting his hands on my shoulders. "Does that change anything for us?" I glance around at our planning setup, each element reflecting our values instead of reacting to their disapproval. "No," I say firmly. "We keep building." 3 days later, I stand by the window, sunlight pouring over my laptop where Giovanni's latest email is open. The new photos of the Amalfi Coast villa are stunning. Stone walls covered in flowers, a terrace overlooking the Mediterranean, and ancient olive trees that will supply branches for our ceremony. "Did you see what Giovanni found?" I call out to Ethan, who's arranging camera gear in the living room. "A local florist who specializes in jasmine garlands. The scent will be incredible at sunset." Ethan looks up, smiling. "That's exactly what we talked about. The documentary team's confirmed, too. Marco and Sarah will handle the main footage so I can just be your groom." Our living room has become a full-scale command center. Inspiration boards line the walls, filled with fabric swatches in soft tones, sketches of table settings, and lighting notes for the golden hour ceremony. Every detail has been planned with care. "I finalized the invitations this morning," I tell him, sliding a cream-colored envelope across the table. Inside is a handmade card with pressed olive leaves and our names in simple calligraphy. Just 25 people, those who've truly been there for us. Ethan studies the card, his fingers tracing the lettering. "Perfect. Simple, elegant, and meaningful," he says. "This is about creating something that lasts, not about showing off." I nod, feeling the calm that has replaced the anxiety of earlier planning. We're building something real, something that mirrors who we are together and individually. Each choice feels right, unlike when I used to chase my family's approval. My phone buzzes. Lily's name appears. My stomach tightens again as I read her message. "The Italian consulate said you filed for a marriage license. Why are you trying to steal my spotlight?" My hands shake slightly as I set the phone down. "Lily knows about the license," I tell Ethan, showing him the message. "How would she even find that out?" He asks quietly. "Maybe through my mom's contacts," I say. "Or they're watching closely. What if they interfere?" The question escapes before I can stop it. What if they contact Giovanni or try to influence our guests? Ethan takes my hands, his voice steady. "Then we adapt. We already know who truly supports us. The people coming to Italy are the ones who matter." My phone buzzes again. This time it's my cousin Jenna. "Aunt Margaret called about your Italian wedding. She's really upset." "What's going on?" A moment later, another message arrives from my college roommate. "Your dad just asked about a wedding in Italy. Are you okay?" I close my eyes, feeling that familiar wave of pressure. They're mobilizing the family again, just like they did for the Miami wedding. The same cycle of guilt and manipulation repeating once more. "They're reaching out to everyone," I whisper, realizing how that might sound self-centered again. "That was always their plan," Ethan replies calmly. "The real question is, do we respond to their accusations or stay focused on our vision?" I glance around at our detailed plans, the product of weeks of careful thought. I don't want to get pulled into their drama. This isn't about them. Later that evening, after tightening our venue's privacy settings and alerting our small guest list about possible contact from my family, I step out onto the balcony. Seattle's skyline glows below as I breathe in the cool night air. Feeling unexpectedly calm despite the tension building around us, my phone rings. Giovanni's name flashes on the screen. "Courtney, I received an unusual call today, he begins, his Italian accent heavier than usual. A woman claiming to be your mother asked several questions about the ceremony. My heart sinks. I'm so sorry, Giovanni. My family situation is complicated. Do not worry, he assures me. I told her nothing. Your day will be perfect. Italian privacy laws are strict, and I've instructed my team. No uninvited guests will disrupt your celebration. Relief floods through me. Thank you. After we hang up, Ethan joins me on the balcony, wrapping his arms around my waist. Everything okay? Giovanni got a call from my mother, but he handled it perfectly. I reply. He's adding some extra security measures just in case. Let's just stay focused on us, Ethan says softly. Whatever happens in Miami doesn't matter. Standing there as darkness settles, I realize how much I've grown. 6 months ago, a call from my mother would have left me consumed with guilt and doubt. Now I feel grounded, focused on building something meaningful instead of reacting to their attempts to undermine me. The time for preparation is nearly over. Next week, we'll board a plane to Italy, and everything we've planned will finally come together. I can already imagine the jasmine and olive trees, the Mediterranean breeze on my skin as we exchange vows. Whatever chaos my family might create, we're ready. A week later, my phone buzzes just before sunrise. I'm already awake, finalizing our photography schedule for the ceremony. Ethan sleeps soundly beside me, his breathing calm and even. The caller ID reads Mom. My stomach tightens. I take my coffee to the balcony before answering. Hello? You need to cancel Italy. Margaret's voice is sharper than usual. Not her normal cool disapproval, but something colder. That's not happening, I say, watching a seagull land on the nearby railing. Listen carefully, Courtney, she says. If you go through with this, you'll never be welcome in this family again. The seagull takes flight as a car horn blares below. My grip on the mug tightens. I don't understand why my wedding threatens you so much. Don't try to twist this. You know exactly what you're doing. Her voice trembles with anger. 1 month before Lily's wedding. After everything we've done for you? A familiar male voice cuts in. Dad, they've put me on speakerphone. You've always been selfish, Richard says. This just proves it. I move inside, not wanting the neighbors to overhear. I'm marrying the person I love, in a place that matters to us. How is that selfish? Lily's been hospitalized with anxiety because of you, Margaret snaps. My heart freezes. What? Is she all right? As if you care, she snaps, her voice sharp with accusation. Her doctor says the stress you're putting her through could impact her long-term health. The lie lingers in the air. I've seen Lily's Instagram stories from her bachelorette trip to the Bahamas just 3 days ago, laughing on a yacht, drink in hand. That's not true, I say quietly. I saw her posts from the Bahamas. A pause follows. She pushed herself to go, my mother insists. She didn't want to disappoint her bridesmaids. My phone buzzes with a text. My cousin Rachel. Is it true you're stealing Lily's spotlight? Everyone's talking about it, go, Dad adds, his tone heavy with guilt. Your grandmother might not live to see another wedding. She's heartbroken you're choosing a ceremony abroad she can't attend. My grandmother, who, according to Aunt Pamela, hasn't left Florida in 15 years. Your cousin Rachel agrees with us, Margaret continues. So do the Petersons. Even Julie thinks you're being selfish. Julie, my childhood best friend who moved to Australia 5 years ago and hasn't spoken to my mother since. You're lying, I say, surprised at how steady my voice sounds. Julie hasn't talked to you in years. Another call flashes through. Uncle Frank. Then a text from my mother's neighbor, Susan. Honey, are you sure about this Italian wedding? It sounds unnecessary and expensive. The coordinated effort is almost impressive. Cancel Italy, Margaret says again. Or accept that you're no longer part of this family. My throat tightens. Is that what Lily wants too? This is coming from all of us, she replies coldly. You've pushed your sister past her limit. I walk to the wall where Ethan and I have pinned our wedding plans. Olive branches and jasmine flowers, the cliffside view at sunset, our handwritten vows. I touch the edge of a photo showing Giovanni's villa glowing in golden light. I'll think about what you've said, I tell them. Not because I mean it, but because I need the call to end. After hanging up, I sit at the kitchen counter, my hands trembling despite my calm tone. Ethan steps out of the bedroom, instantly reading the tension. Your parents? He asks, taking my hand. I nod. They've escalated. Now it's total family exile if we don't cancel. He pours coffee and sits beside me. You okay? I'm angry, I admit. They're using everyone, relatives, friends, to pressure me. They even claimed Lily was hospitalized with anxiety. His jaw tightens. That's a new low. I think we should call Adam about security for the ceremony, I say. Just in case. Ethan nods. Already done. Talked to him yesterday. He knows a local guy in Amalfi who's discreet. I stare at him. What? How did you... I heard your mom talking to Aunt Carol last week, he explains. I knew this was coming. He squeezes my hand. This is about us, Court, not them. We spend the rest of the day finalizing details. I call our photographer friends to confirm travel plans, while Ethan checks in with the videographer filming the ceremony documentary style. Giovanni emails to confirm the jasmine and olive branch setup. By sunset, our plans are updated. Security arranged, nothing compromised. The villa remains our dream venue. The guest list stays the same. 25 people who've truly supported us. Just after midnight, my phone rings again. What? Is she all right? As if you actually care, my mother snaps, her tone laced with bitterness. The doctor says the stress you're causing could harm her long-term health. The accusation lingers in the air. I've seen Lily's Instagram stories from her bachelorette trip in the Bahamas just 3 days ago. Laughing on a yacht, cocktail in hand. That's not true, I reply quietly. I saw her post from the Bahamas. A pause. She forced herself to go, my mother insists, because she didn't want to upset her bridesmaids. My phone buzzes. It's a text from my cousin Rachel. Is it true you're trying to steal Lily's spotlight? Everyone's talking about it. Go, my father adds sharply. Your grandmother may not be around for another wedding. She's devastated that you're having a foreign ceremony she can't attend. My grandmother, who, according to Aunt Pamela, hasn't left Florida in 15 years. Rachel agrees with us, Margaret continues. So do the Petersons. Even Julie thinks you're being selfish. Julie, my childhood best friend who moved to Australia 5 years ago and hasn't spoken to my mother since. You're lying, I say evenly, surprised by the steadiness in my voice. Julie hasn't talked to you in years. Another call flashes. Uncle Frank. Then a text from my mother's neighbor, Susan. Honey, are you sure about this Italian wedding? Sounds expensive and unnecessary. It's almost impressive how coordinated their campaign is. Cancel Italy, Margaret says firmly, or accept that you're no longer part of this family. My throat tightens. Is that what Lily wants too? This is from all of us, she replies coldly. You've pushed your sister to her breaking point. I walk over to the wall where Ethan and I have pinned our wedding plans. Olive branches, jasmine flowers, a cliffside sunset, our handwritten vows. My fingers trace the photo of Giovanni's villa glowing in golden light. I'll think about what you've said, I tell them. Not because I'm considering it, but because I need this conversation to end. After hanging up, I sit at the kitchen counter, my hands trembling despite my calm tone. Ethan steps out of the bedroom, immediately sensing what happened. Your parents? He asks, taking my hand. I nod. They've escalated, threatening to cut me off completely if we don't cancel. He pours coffee and sits beside me. Are you okay? I'm furious, I admit. They've turned this into a coordinated attack. Relatives, friends, even neighbors. They're spreading lies, saying Lily's been hospitalized from anxiety. His jaw tightens. That's a new low. I think we should talk to Adam about security for the ceremony, I suggest. Just in case. Ethan nods. Already ahead of you. Spoke with him yesterday. He knows a local contact in Amalfi who's discreet. I blink in surprise. You knew? I overheard your mom talking to Aunt Carol last week. I saw this coming. He squeezes my hand. This is about us, Court, not them. We spend the day refining details. I confirm travel plans with our photographer friends who will document the ceremony, while Ethan coordinates with the videographer shooting documentary style. Giovanni emails to confirm the jasmine and olive branch arrangements. By sunset, we've adjusted everything to stay prepared for potential interference, without compromising our vision. The villa will have quiet security. The guest list remains at 25, those who've always stood by us. Just after midnight, my phone rings again.